You know, we talked about the theme being a poetry tonight being a kind of a freedom of speech riff, you know. Pero para mí, inevitably, whenever I think of freedom of speech, I gotta think of freedom of language, que no? Freedom of language, que no? Because aquí en los United States, they say language is free. But aquí en los United States, is it free to speak any language? Whose language is American? American is whose language? It should be noted on this particular timeline that during this last presidency, we've seen a sharp rise within these made-up borders on this stolen, occupied tierra of brown people being attacked in public for speaking Spanish. Or to put it another way, during this last presidency, we have seen a rise in brown people being attacked for exercising their First Amendment right to speak whatever the hell language they want to. Or to put it another way, during this last presidency, there's been a rise in attacks on foreigners speaking foreign languages. That's the American way. A Latina madre berated by a crowd in a Los Angeles restaurant for speaking Spanish to her children. The teenage refugee from Venezuela who was beaten by a white teenager for speaking Spanish to his friend. Whose language is American? American is whose language? Shit. And just to kindly remind, and by the way, you can go ahead and look this fact up. Google it, ask your well-read tío at the next holiday gathering, do whatever you need to do, but know that this is the truth, that this corporate conglomeration formerly and presently known as America has no official language. That's right, I'll say it again, America has no official language. All of us bilinguistas and trilinguistas out there, shit, we're only using English because it's convenient. It was already here. It's like a well-worn handle, an old hat, an old coat you put on. English already has the momentum and the coupons and the xenophobia in place. The holidays are used to pronouncing English this way. And all the freeway signs are already up. So what the hell? The 56 million Spanish speakers aquí en los United States, shit, we just go along with it, mispronouncing it ever so slightly. 2 US citizens detained by a Border Patrol agent for speaking Spanish in Montana. A Mexican consulate employee in San Diego is assaulted on a bus for speaking Spanish to his mother on his cell phone. Whose language is American? American is whose language? And la pura neta is that when these MAGA monolinguists hear us talking on the Muni, at the fast food spot, at the swap meet, when they hear us talking in front of the taco truck, these pendejos actually think we are plotting the overthrow of the government on the morning commute. They think that we are whispering details about what they're wearing to our relatives who are probably dangerous, revolutionary, murdering atheists. Man, these folks aren't listening to us at all. What they're listening to is their fear and ignorance and hate. They don't hear a language, they hear an invasion, they hear an occupation, an illegal border crossing. They hear a white man's job being taken, his neighborhood being invaded, when the reality of it is that nosotros, los inmigrantes, we tend to this idioma called English, this language called English, the same way we tend to the jardines, to the lawns. We tend to this idioma called Inglés, the same way we take care of the mandado for the week, or prepare la comida, open the tiendas, clean the restaurants. The inmigrantes. We fortify English with spoonfuls of our palabras. We bleed our historia into it. We spice it with our slang. We indent it with the verbal inflection of our footprints, soften its vowels with our madre's voice, Spanglish it even more in text messages from our hermanitas. And yet, a white lawyer in New York threatens to call ICE on the staff of a fast food restaurant because the staff is speaking Spanish. A 91-year-old Mexicano man is attacked with a brick by a woman as he asks her over and over again in Spanish, ¿Por qué me pegas? ¿Por qué me pegas? ¿Por qué me pegas? Whose language is American? American is whose language? Gracias.